Hi there, this is just a quick video to show you how to load the Splurge Guns, but I'll just run through the components on the gun first. So there's the trigger. This little pin, which you leave in until the beginning of the show, is a safety, so you can't move the trigger. When you pull the pin out and keep it safe, you can move the trigger. The gun works by a lever system. You see, as this pull the trigger back, that lifts up, and this bit down here, which you can see dropping down, pushes the top of the splurge, and the splurge comes out. The splurge comes out of the little plastic tube here. This thing is also not only to ease the loading of the splurge, but also to make sure that the tube is pointing straight, so you can tighten it up and make sure that the plastic tube is shooting out. Otherwise sometimes it comes out of the side. Okay, so to load it you need to unscrew that, don't lose it. Unscrew the top of the magazine and slip it sideways. There. This steel plate is a guide for where the magazine goes. So as you can see, the magazine is flush to the steel plate. Once you've untightened that, you can lift the gun out. I'm just going to turn it upside down so you can see the inside. The tube we were talking about at the front is connected to this, and this will go into the top of the splurge canister. You can see the mechanism and everything underneath. So if I pull the trigger, you'll see that piece of wood pushes up, and that pushes down onto the splurge can and shoots the splurge. Okay, here's a can. This is not splurge, it's something I found in the garage and it's empty. So the first thing you need to do with the splurge is get rid of that bit. You don't need that. Okay, there's your can of splurge. This piece of wood here is the loading cradle. It makes it a lot easier. So basically you take your gun and you sit it in the loading cradle. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second. Okay, second part of the video. So you'll see the nozzle on the splurge and the little hole on this thing. What you need to do is you need to push that nozzle into that hole. When I say push, I mean very gently push and spin it as you're doing it, twist it as you're doing it. It may be that you actually have to hold it up like this. The joy of releasing that bit down there means you can move this around and get it right. Okay, so when that has been connected to that, what you'll end up with is that. Easy. What you do then, get your magazine, bit of a fiddle, in fact it is a very fiddly thing. So there, the splurge can is loaded and inside the magazine. Then you need to, with two hands, and obviously I'm holding the video camera, so one hand on the magazine and one hand on the gun, flip it over, and I'll do that now. Right, we've flipped it over with two hands, put the bar back and tighten it up. Just finger tight, doesn't need to be any more than that, just so the magazine doesn't fall off. And then make sure that this is tightened up and that your tube is pointing straight forward. Then you can test it. There's no splurge in this, but you can give it a test and it should fire. Just check that actually. Just make sure that that's clipped in place, because you don't want the thing to fall off. Okay, so there you go. There it's loaded. Now I'm going to show you the. This is the silver gun. This is for the one that the fella shoots himself in the face. It's exactly the same procedure, but you can't use the loading cradle obviously for this, so it's a bit more complex in terms of loading, but it's very similar. Unscrew this, and because of the way it's built you need to do that to get the magazine off. Then you can load it, and this tube here is where the splurge comes out of, so it goes backwards, and that can be put, you can see there's a guide here or a guide there, so if he's left-handed or right-handed or whatever it is, and that will shoot out the back, and that bit of velcro here will just make sure that the tube is pointing in the right direction. Okay, the stand here is optional, but if you want to use it you can. There's a little bit of rubber thing around there, and that goes in like that, and that spins like that. And if you see, this is the same width as the magazine there, and I'll show you just to put it on. There you go. It's a really tight fit, so it needs a tap with a hammer just to make sure that it's actually completely on. Go, one gun on its stand. We did this because when he shoots himself he obviously wants to fall backwards, and you don't really want to be falling over with that in your hand. Anyway, there you go. So just some things to look out for. As I say, the trigger is on and off. Squeezing it harder does not make the splurge come out any quicker, so just watch that. Can actually break the mechanism. Remember that the plate goes against the front of the magazine. Sometimes if the gun is dropped, this will pop up and it will be sitting out like an angle. As you can see, there's a screw, probably not, but there's a screw in there. There's only a single screw holding it in, so it's just a case of pushing the barrel back in again. Alright. Occasionally the guns might be a bit sticky. You see down here, I've already oiled it, but you can use a little bit of cooking oil down there and that will free up the mechanism a little bit. Please don't lose the safeties, and remember to make sure that this is tight but not too tight. Don't use pliers. Other than that, I hope you have a great show.